Welcome to CRT Gaming, episode number 17, Boogerman. Goodness. This is Jones, and with me tonight are my good friends Dazpick and Gohan. So Mr. Gohan, how flatulent were you feeling this evening?
Very. Very.
I'm so gassy. Straight from Taco Bell.
Something definitely stunk.
Oh goodness. And then well, that's a strange tale, but like I said, we had the assignment was you had a GamePro magazine. It had 200 and some plus pages in it. Some of the greatest games of all time I recall seeing in this magazine. And Dazpick, out of all
I recall
games,
that too, Jones.
chose Boogerman. So, in the words of Ricky Ricardo, Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
Okay, so the ask was, if you had money and you could buy anything at Christmas time or whatever, what would you get? Okay, so I dug back in my memories of what I did back then, and most of the games that were the greatest games, I already had them. I had them well before Christmas. I didn't get them at Christmas. I didn't get shit for Christmas unless I went and bought it, and I'd already got all the good stuff. But stupid game that looked funny that I had seen ads for, that's what I experimented around with to see how it was. And back when we were teenagers, I know I was. I mean, we all liked a good dick and fart joke. But this was just farts and snot, and it was pretty damn funny. It was silly, completely silly and not serious. But it was entertaining. So, yeah. And I figured neither of you two had played it, so it was either this or, Supreme Warrior Kasumi Ninja guys.
I guess we won somehow.
I think we all lost.
Yeah, there is their winner. This is like I don't know, Chester Cheetah, Bubsy 7-Up, like wannabe lame-ass Howard Stern joke up a platform character is what this is.
But the animation was good.
Now, I will give that about it. Like, it had excellent animation.
Yes,
like,
it did.
But at some moments, I don't know why it didn't. Like, for example, like if you're climbing a vine, why couldn't you climb a vine? You had to jump up the vine.
Yeah, I know. That was stupid.
Yeah, that was kind of I felt let down.
I know. Because everything else was like really well animated. Like everything. Like even the stupid shit. Standstill animation was really cool. I mean, again, it was a silly, fart joke or whatever. But it was really well animated. It looked like a cartoon character.
It was very long.
Yeah. It was like almost a parody of Aladdin.
Yeah,
animation wise.
It is very well animated. I will not take that away from it.
Made great use of the color green.
Now,
it's very bright and vibrant.
That is a green that is not on Photoshop's color wheel. And that exists outside the color spectrum.
This color shouldn't exist.
Yeah, like only certain animals can see it or something.
What is kind of a shame that I got a lot further in this game than I thought I was going to. I kind of reached a point and quit. Thought that was it. And then I don't know. I came back for seconds. And a little further into the game, the levels are a lot better than than like the first, I don't know, I would say like 40 minutes. Like if you could just straight play through it 40 minutes and get to that point. Because like the first levels, it's all green. It all just looks the same to me. Like sometimes I was getting hit and I didn't exactly understand. Like I thought it was part of the background as opposed to actually like an enemy that could hurt me. Like there's these little tubes that spit.
the ones that were getting me were the little jumping snots that are really small.
Yeah.
That you try and jump on them, but you just miss. And yeah, the 2-hit death was kind of a pain in the ass.
2-hit death, that was rough.
Yeah.
The scrolling enemies off the screen was kind of hit or miss. Like sometimes they would disappear and sometimes they would be there. It was, there's no rhyme to reason to it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like, I guess the game's kind of, you have to stop and pop. You can't you can't run and gun in that game. You can run and throw a burger, but you can't fire off a fart or a burp while you're running, which kind of sucked. You had to stop and charge that boy up and get a good one so you could kill the baddies with it. But yeah, I mean, they're always moving towards you, so it's just kind of like, oh shit. But yeah. Overall, look, is it the greatest game ever? Hell no. No. But it's a silly, fun platformer. And regardless of how much you hate it, I still enjoyed it. The boss fights, the first one, it takes a minute to get the mechanics and the pattern, and that you actually have to watch your distance on that fight in particular. Like if you get too close, he does something different. If you get too far away, he does something different. If you're not right in that perfect spot to have him do the same thing every time so you can actually win the fight easily, that was annoying. But then once you kind of get in the flow of it, the rest of the boss fights are much easier.
I think actually the first the boss fight, the kind of the redneck guy with the chicken,
Hick Boy.
Hick Boy. the first few levels are definitely kind of bland, but the boss, I didn't get too much farther than him, but his design as a 2D boss was pretty cool. That was kind of like a bright spot in the early part of the game, was fighting against him, because it was actually a pretty fun little boss fight.
Yeah, I think I cleared 3 or 4 of them. I think 3 or 4 of them. I can't remember now. But yeah, it was, again, silly game. But the artwork on some of the stuff was actually really good. The animation was awesome. I'll not take any of that away from the game. It was that shit was on point. But it is what it is, man. It's a pick and flick adventure.
Well, the animation in the game for the in character, you're saying, you kind of mentioned Aladdin, but there were a lot of awesome games that really were starting to take advantage of actual Hollywood or animation industry cell animators. And some of these games like Earthworm Jim and stuff like that, some of that stuff really started to push the envelope. And as I kind of said in one of our earlier episodes, one of my qualifiers for an awesome looking game when I would talk to my friends was it looked like a cartoon, and definitely they delivered on that with the main character. The backgrounds are pretty static, and the bad guys are not as, you could tell where all the memory was put into, and it was put into the main character. But it definitely looked like a gross out version of a Warner Brothers kind of character.
It was the main character and all his sound effects.
Every enemy you killed made a fart noise, the same fart noise, which they could have changed that a little bit. That was
they should have made
repetitive.
Some wet ones, some
or
dry ones.
Why is it even farting?
Honestly, I think they probably had so many stupid sound effects it just didn't have memory for it.
Well, they had you get to the end, to Puss Palace, the final boss. It literally has more synthesized speech. There is more speech in that section than on any cartridge game that I can recall. It is a fair amount of speech. It's about like 20, maybe 25 seconds.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like a whole little rant, and you fight, and it's over the top animated, that character is as well. But yeah, then it just ends. Yeah, there's the ending for you. It's over. There's no.
That's the Karnov ending. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you for playing.
Yeah, the Karnov ending still hurts.
Now, I don't see how this game ever got greenlighted, like, or funded, or, I could see it maybe as a little toy project, someone making maybe a level of this,
I know.
But
I don't either.
see a whole game like this, how it happened. But there were two people that I did a little research. There's one guy named Mike Strachey, and another guy named Chris Trimmel. Now, these are some fine gentlemen that they were behind this game, and they develop other games as well. They're some of the masterpieces you might be aware of, or like the Scorpion King, Sword of Osiris for the GBA, which I'm sure that's an absolutely terrible game. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee on the Xbox. Gex 3, Deep Cover Gecko for the PlayStation.
Oh yeah, the James Bond Gex.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And a lot of the old Lord of the Rings games that were out, like on the PlayStation.
GameCube ones. They also did RoboCop vs. Terminator, which was actually a damn good game on the Genesis and Super NES.
Oh right, yeah. Didn't that come in some kind of crazy cartridge or box or something like that?
No, I mean, if it did, I don't know. Mine didn't. Mine just came in a box.
I remember that being like, for a licensed game back then. Actually, not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was based on the Dark Horse comic, which was actually really good. And yeah, it was, of course, the Genesis version was very bloody and awesome.
Yeah, so these two guys, they, to me at least, like their history is they work on mediocre games. I'm not saying what they work on is terrible, but it's nothing, extraordinary. And that's kind of where I'd put this game. It's like not a terrible game. Like, it's crude, it's lowbrow humor, but
it's a Kevin Smith movie of a video game.
That's a very good way to put it.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a video game that, like, when people talk about video games that don't really know much about it, they would make up a fictitious Boogerman game. That would be like the game that they're developing in Grandma's Boy 2 or something like that.
Exactly, yeah, like Seth Rogen's one of the programmers.
Yeah, exactly.
But I did look, like, back in 2014, they started a Kickstarter, and they're wanting to make an HD version of Boogerman.
Yeah, I saw that.
An HD version.
Yeah, and they had a goal of 375,000.
They're at 40K.
They only made it to 40K, therefore there would be no Boogerman HD.
Yep. There was 1,000 people that wanted to chip in on that.
The ill fate. Boogerman.
But I will say the artwork that they had for it, like for what they wanted to do, actually looked really nice. I don't know if you watched the video.
Digital domain avatar, like
no,
quality
I mean, it was
model
just
of Boogerman.
No, but I mean, if you looked
it's
at
like so
the
realistic.
It was like the game, but really clean, sharp, and like animated. It would have been animated very excessively.
See, in my mind, it looks like that, realistic Homer Simpson meme. Like that's what the art direction for the Kickstarter Boogerman looks like.
Yeah, it's a strange game. I mean, there's nothing really I can compare it to. I mean, it's like if someone came to me and said, "Oh man, I love Boogerman. You got more of that?" I don't know what to give them.
I don't think anybody's ever said that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone ever said I want this for Christmas either, but apparently someone did.
I told you, I didn't get video games for Christmas.
I could not look my parents in the face and say, Mom, Dad, please let Santa bring me Boogerman.
There was one rule at Christmas in my house, and that was that I could never ask for video games. They would never get them for me. So I was on my own. So every game that I had, I was fending for myself, buddy. So all the Street Fighters and Sam shows and Mortal Kombat, I already had all that shit.
It's okay.
Could have been Kasumi Ninja.
Yeah, I am thankful for that. Although I've never played it.
You're better off. You're better off.
I think Daz is the CRT Grinch. Like, this was supposed to be like this really nice, warm and fuzzy, what's your favorite?
Playing it.
I know, like, that's what yes. I mean, it definitely, the gameplay in it, the character controlled well, like moving the character around felt good. So there was definitely some competent kind of design work there. Playing this game did remind me, like I said, of those games back then, the ones that had like a really heavy bent in animation. And honestly, like I kind of wished, I always wanted to like play and beat, Earthworm Jim, just because it was just so cool looking, right?
It's just so hard.
But it's just so hard. It's just so hard. Like I watched Daz play it for a bit last week, and I was like, man, this is just punishing. And I think, I would actually love to, probably back then, I would have stuck with Earthworm Jim if it controlled and played a little bit more forgivingly, like this game did. But it's I'm just really struggling to find redeeming things about this game. I mean, I could keep talking, but that would be a lie,
Yeah, we're not being paid. No endorsements here from Interplay.
Interplay, if you're listening.
This is for Clay Fighter 4.
Clay Fighter. Now we're talking.
That's a Retro Stank.
See, like,
good old Retro Stank.
Yeah.
Let's see. So let's get to on this game on its merits. Like, I guess it's a platformer game.
It is that.
Strip away all the loogies and burning farts, and belches.
Flatulent flight. Don't forget that.
You can't forget that. It's kind of amazing shooting fire out of your butt for the first time.
And the flight controls were pretty good.
Kevin Smith does need to make a Boogerman movie. You have like this. There's gold.
I'm telling you, man, that's right in his wheelhouse. All right, so just get. Go ahead.
Well, that said, so like, Mr. Gohan, like, how would you rank this Boogerman, or would you recommend it to a friend?
Probably not. But just, I mean, looking at the game, like, objectively, like, if I were someone who reviewed games or something like that, it's, I don't know, good animation, semi-decent kind of shooter platforming, but yeah, I think there's a lot of other better games that are in that mold, right? We kind of named some of them earlier, like Disney was just kind of on fire on the Genesis and Super NES with Lion King and Aladdin and just all of those games. They were just kind of on a kick there because they could finally get their cool feature film animation on the small screen video games. But yeah, there's whether it's the Disney games or other games, out of this world. There's so many games that were kind of in this platforming, adventuring kind of shooter genre that definitely would be way better use of your time. So yeah, it would be hard to recommend this. I think even back then I would have probably put it at like a 5 or a 6, honestly.
That's more than a fair score. Yeah, I'll save Daz for last here. I would go the same. It's like a 5 or a 6. It's not like there's unplayable games, okay? And as far as since it's like the gameplay or just the mechanics of it, they're just totally whack. The game's broken and it don't work. So it's not unplayable. It's highly playable. But to me, it gets old. Like, I know a lot of people love Howard Stern, but it's like Howard Stern. It's a never-ending fart joke, which, a fart joke is funny. Like 2 hours straight of fart jokes is not, to me.
It gets a little thin.
Yeah, it's just, it gets a little repetitive, but it is animated well. So it's a mediocre game to me. It's a 5 or a 6 as well. And I don't know if I would recommend it, but I might recommend someone to at least see it, because you don't believe this is actually exist. But I don't know if I'd recommend them to play it. So I'll go with Daz. How would you rate this pick and flick nightmare?
I actually would rate it about the same thing as you, about a 6. Because you're not wrong. It's animated well. It's an okay game. It's not the best game ever. It's entertaining for a while. Would I recommend it to anybody? I'd depend on the person. If somebody is into that kind of humor, I'd say, you know what? You should probably check out Boogerman. You'd probably get a kick out of it. Most people, probably not. That's why there's only 1,000 people that kicked into the Kickstarter.
The market has spoken.
Yeah, But I mean, overall, did I enjoy it? Yeah, it made me chuckle a few times. And I liked the animation a lot. It was really colorful. It was pretty. Even though the things that were pretty were ugly, if that makes any sense. Yeah, it was entertaining. And as I've said before, that's all right in and of itself sometimes. It was far more entertaining than Kasumi Ninja was. Or Supreme Warrior.
See, what's bad is you played all these games. That's where it's bad. That's the level of your problem.
I have no problem. I just like to play a lot of shit. I like to play everything, man. I don't want to try everything out.
Like Mike,
are you telling me that?
I like that out of 300.
Every movie you've seen has been A+ gold.
I just love that out of 300 pages.
I wouldn't go back
GamePro.
and watch it again. I would learn.
Yes, you would. I've been with you when we've watched shitty movies.
Because it was good.
No, it was terrible.
No, it would be good. It's like touching a stove as a child. That's how you learned. Like, Boogerman burned me. I'll never play you again. Yeah.
But it's not that bad.
It's not. It's taking a lot of heat. It's just not it's not a stellar game. We're coming from a pretty good high of playing Samurai Showdown to Boogerman. And,
so let's see where Gohan takes us.
let's do that, Mr. Gohan. What did you do with this GamePro magazine? Did you pick Cosmic Carnage so I can murder you with my bare hands?
Cosmic Carnage. Let's see, what else is on the docket? No, yeah, so, Jones, when you thought up this idea, I thought it was really fun because it, in and of itself, is just like a fun blast through the past, and the three of us got to look at the magazine together and just kind of relive a little bit of what it was like, back then. But if we're coming from a big high with Samurai Showdown 2, we're going to go to an extreme low now. In the same vein of that game for you, Jones, that was the game that you were just like living and waiting for, to play. The game that during this time I could not wait to come out was Doom 2 for the PC. Pretty sure we've all played it, but I don't know if we've all played it recently, so I think it'd be cool to kind of go back and relive the id Software classic.
It's Christmas time. It's Doom time.
Bad. I was get amped. Like, get your 486 up and running. we're going to.
Okay, so the PC version, not the 32X version.
I think it's on Steam right now for probably like $5 or something. So I will gift you guys Doom 2 so that we can play it online or something.
Oh God.
Doom 2. This is gonna be awesome.
Wait a minute. Oh wait, no, I've got the disc right here.
See, you came prepared.
I really do. I've got it right here.
I mean,
you have your copy of Windows 95 ready to go?
No, I think the bigger problem is
we're
I
running
gotta
the
find a
shit
drive.
in DOS. No, we're running the shit in DOS. We're running it the fast way. We're high mem in DOS. We're doing it
For Windows 95, guys.
no.
Awesome. I got 32 megs of memory. I'm gonna crush this game.
Gonna run it like
And if it'll
1,000 frames a second.
16 or 32, you're good to go.
All right.
Well, awesome. So next week, stay tuned and we'll play the good goodness, one of the games that started it all, basically. Playing Doom 2. So we will catch you next time. This is Jones with Dazpick and Gohan. Signing out.
Booger!
Yeah, mother, yeah!